place. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories in modern American numismatics, the Liberty Washington $quarter from 1984 with the P mint mark. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary coin you may have spent at a grocery store or tossed into a parking meter decades ago. But beneath its familiar design lies a world of rare errors, unusual minting mistakes, historical context, and extraordinary possibilities that can push its value far beyond its humble face value, with some examples rumored, discussed, and traded in elite circles at figures reaching as high as $709,000. This is not just a story about money, it is a story about history, chance, craftsmanship, and how tiny imperfections can turn everyday objects into legendary treasures. When the Washington quarter was introduced in 1932, it was meant to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. What began as a commemorative issue soon became a permanent design, replacing the standing Liberty quarter. By 1984, the Washington quarter had already been in circulation for over 50 years, and most Americans barely gave it a second thought. Quarters were everywhere, passed from hand to hand, jingling in pockets, and stacking up in jars. The year 1984 sits in an interesting place in U.S. history. The country was emerging from economic uncertainty, minting technology was evolving, and the demand for circulating coinage was high. The Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P mint mark, was producing millions upon millions of quarters to meet everyday needs. In such massive production runs, perfection becomes nearly impossible, and that is exactly where rarity is born. The 1984 Washington quarter was struck in large quantities, and under normal circumstances, a typical circulated example is worth face value or slightly more. Even uncirculated pieces in average condition usually trade for modest sums. However, the coin collecting world is not driven by averages. It is driven by exceptions. Errors, anomalies, and unusual characteristics are what transform a common coin into a rare prize. The story of the 1984 P quarter's extraordinary potential value lies almost entirely in these exceptions, in coins that slipped through quality control and entered circulation carrying unique flaws that no other coin shares. One of the most important factors that can elevate the value of a 1984 P Washington quarter is the presence of mint errors. These errors can occur at nearly every stage of the minting process, from the preparation of the metal planchet to the striking of the design and even after the coin leaves the press. Each type of error tells a story about what went wrong inside the mint, and collectors are often fascinated by these stories as much as by the coins themselves. Planchet errors are among the most intriguing. Before a coin is struck, blank metal discs called planchets are cut from large metal sheets. If something goes wrong at this stage, the resulting coin can